welcome back to week 5 of the 100 Women of Color in Jobs 90 Days Challenge, and I hope you guys are doing well. How are you guys doing? You bold women of color, brilliant and bold. So we are officially on week 5 and almost halfway through. We have about 90 days, which is like 12 weeks. And so now we are on week 5 and it's time to talk about interviews, right? It's a new month. Also, happy new month, guys. Welcome to August. Yesterday in our session, I was telling the women about, oh my god, it's August already, meaning 2025 is wrapping up, and that is the most bizarre unbelievable thing. And that calls for action, that calls for going back to your, so if we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 7 months has gone by of 2025. You have like 5 more months to decide on how your life would go by being very intentional about it. So I felt like I needed to give that pep talk to people who are also watching that are not exactly part of the 100 Women of Color right now, but you're also part. But yeah, it's time to wake up. In case you're sleeping on it, wake up. The year is about to wrap up. Have your goals set and let's get together all these visions that we've been writing or putting on the board. Let's get into reality. Anyway, so this week it's time to talk about interviews. We are focusing on interview mastery, and this will be a part 1. And we're going to be going into behavioral interview, the kind that often starts with those dreaded words. What can you guess the word? Tell me about yourself, right? We practice this all the time during our sessions. Tell me about yourself. We are going to be unpacking that question. And we're going to help you tell your story powerfully and walk through a method that has helped thousands of people land roles. Again, we're going through the STAR method. I know a couple of weeks ago I'd mentioned the STAR method, but this one would also, go into it. So why this week matters, you've done the work to like clarify your goals, right? Your CV is solid now. We've moved past that. We've moved past your branding, your personal branding. We've also done the target companies all locked in. And now you're finally about getting interviews or already getting interviews. But the interview is where everything can fall apart if you're not prepared. It's like first impressions is quite very important. So because it's not just about what you've done, it's about how you communicate what you've done. So I can't read minds, nobody can, not your interviewer. So yeah, we have a workshop today. Get your book, get your biro, and let's start. I'm giving you like a minute, 30 seconds to just get a book and biro. Don't assume that you know exactly what I'm about to say. Get a book, get a biro, do this, and yeah, remember we're trying new methods. We've done it the normal way and now we want to try to get something different. Yeah. Did I apologize for coming 2 minutes late? I'm so sorry. I had technical issues setting up. So it sounded so cliche, but that was it. Anyways, let's get back to it. So we have a workshop called or themed around STAR method and common pitfall. Literally STAR method and their common pitfall. The STAR method is like your best friend in behavioral interviews. It helps you give answers that are like structured, clear, and memorable. These are answers that would make you stand out, make you be remembered for who you are. So the interviewer doesn't leave the interview feeling like I really didn't meet that person. So the first one on the list is S, which is situation. You need to cover what was the context or background. I hope you're writing it down. The second one is T for task. What was your responsibility or challenge? Third one will be action. What did you do? Not the team. Oh my god, you. I I used to struggle with this early on in my career. I'll be like in my career, I'm like, so we built this, we built that. And then some of the interviews will be like, okay, I get it, but what did you do? And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, so I need to separate myself from the team. So, action, what did you do? Not the team, but you. The final one, results. So, what changed? Quantify it if you can. Give the numbers, give the percentages, quantity, or just explain it. Just quantify it as much as you can. So, example is answering of tell me about yourself. So, how do we answer this without going on a 5 minute tangent? Like, talking too long, although I like it, but we need to watch the timing. So here's the framework. Start with your current role, or focus briefly, or focus like your current role, then briefly touch on your career journey. Do you see that? So share 1 to 2 standout achievement, close with why you're excited about the opportunity. So you need to toot your on, you need to talk about what you've done, you need to be really proud about what you've done and be able to like express yourself in that regard. So for example, I'm going to use compliance professional. So you say, I'm a compliance professional with 5 plus years of experience in the fintech. I've led regulatory rollout projects that impacted over 3,000 users across Europe. So let's see, most recently I helped a startup pass its maybe FCA audit ahead of schedule. If you're in the UK, you know how, yeah, FCA is it's a mountain for compliance people. So yeah, I'm now excited to also bring that experience into a fast moving environment like yours, where compliance is seen as a business enabler and not just a checkbox. Do you see? That literally says your achievement, and it also says how you're bringing this experience into their company, and also shows exactly why you're excited to join them and how you see and perceive that particular company. So let's cover some of the common pitfalls that you need to avoid. You need to avoid waffling, so long, unstructured answers that will confuse your interviewer. You need to be very specific. As much as I like to take people on a journey, on a story that they kind of stick with, you need to have your it's the target moments. These are some of the things I want to talk about. This experience, and how is related to this. Also, I used to say if you're an immigrant for any reason, except the job is like related to exactly what you're applying for, there's no reason to mention your country, just in case it gets flagged. So that means that you just need to be very specific about your impact all over again. Just talk about what you've done, relate it down to the experience you got, and then to how it's going to benefit this particular company that you're intending to join. So another pitfall that you need to avoid, aside from waffling, meaning you're just talking unstructured, you need to have a structure in your mind or written down somewhere that you can get accustomed to. The second one will be win. I said earlier, when you're always saying we did everything, you need to show that yes, you did, not we. So avoid saying we did this, we did that. Even though you might have done it as a team, find your own impact and talk through that. The next one will be over explaining gaps or pivots with apology energy. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't over explain gaps. Move on just like I've moved on now. So yeah, next one will be underselling impact. If you've saved time, you've saved money, or you reduce risk, say it. Don't dim it. Don't act, oh, I'm humble, I'm trying not to be shy. No, sell your impact. Let them know what you saved. If it's time, if it's money, or you reduce risk, say it. Don't dim it. So now let's go to how to handle career gaps or pivots. So yeah, life happens. Gaps and pivots are not something for you to be shameful. And here is how you handle them. So, number one is be very honest. Be honest, not overly detailed. They don't need that. Just be honest, brush over it. Show what you learned or how you are using that time intentionally. So, one way is to get accustomed to how the regulatory space of your company or the industry is currently. Get used to the new tool frameworks that are being released every time. Try your hands on them. Be abreast of the industry. Also, you could join open source, contribute in case you're an engineer or a coder. Join open source projects so that you are constantly contributing to project. Also, you could also volunteer. I keep saying it's like really tough, but you can volunteer on your own terms. You can go hybrid volunteering about 2 times in a week with a company, and based on your impact, you never can tell when they say, "Oh, we'd like to have you fully on board," but just yeah, I know money is important, but you're getting by in a way, but and the same time you have a goal. So show what you've learned or how you've used that time intentionally. So always return to the value you bring now. Um, don't dwell completely on oh so you've I'm going to give you an example, but don't just make sure you're returning to the value that you're currently bringing. For example, you can say something like, during that gap I focused on caregiving, and while caring for myself I also took an online course in example data privacy, which I now apply to my compliance approach. Or you could just say, so I transitioned from legal to tech compliance because I saw a growing need for people who understood or understand more regulation and products, and I've now found my lane. So yeah, that is one of the ways to get this done. I at this point would like to give us our assignment. So you need to practice 5 key interview questions with your buddy or with the community at large, and that is very important. So this week's challenge is all about practice. Practice, practice is not perfection. You need to set up those questions, let your buddy give you feedback, you also answer them. And yeah, like 5 common behavioral questions that you could prep with your buddy. So the first one could be, tell me about yourself. So yeah, you need to tell the person what you think. So tell me about a time you faced a challenge and how you overcame it. That's the second one. Another one could be describe a time you led a project or you took initiative. Another one would be like, tell me about a failure or mistake and what you've learned. And that could be very tricky, but make sure what you learn is what the interviewer remembers you for. And then a final example would be, why do you want this role? Or why do you want to join this company? Yeah. So yeah, I'll expect a video audio snippet, record yourself answering at least one of these questions, share it in the group on Discord. Tell us about or with your accountability buddy until you're really free and confident. And this is how you build confidence in public and not just on paper. So yeah, please, if you can't record yourself in your room or in your in your own corner, how can you speak to someone else? So you need to start practicing. So my pro tip of the week would be, practice speaking your answers out loud, not just in your head. It's the only way to build fluency and flow under pressure. Go through the mirror, talk to the mirror like is an interviewer. So yeah, coming up next week we'll be moving into interview mastery part 2 and focusing on maybe technical or role specific interviews, case studies, real time scenarios, and all of that good stuff. I just wanted to let you know that your voice is powerful, your experience is valid. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to this is the time to stand in your story. You don't need to sound like anyone else. You just need to sound like the most confident version of you. So yeah, this is what we call it a wrap. So Ria's record, get feedback and repeat. And I can't wait to see these interviews and hear how you guys are growing. I hope you had a great time today and you found this valuable. And I'll see you next week on the live. See you. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I've forgotten. Um I don't think I've forgotten anything. Also, you can ask me direct questions on the channel if you need any clarity, you're not sure about anything I've said. And of course, I'll be answering you like I usually do. And yeah, keep the energy up this week. Do not lose focus. Do not feel like you do not have it together, because you actually do. All right, see you. Take care and bye.